It's a debate as old as time. Should I defend myself? I'm going to talk to noted criminal defense attorney Tom Grieve about the pros and cons after I share this story with you. But before we do that, we have a gun giveaway going on. It is happening right now. It's absolutely free. It ends really soon. Click the link in the description down below to see which brand new gun you could win. All right, from the well-worn pages of Reddit. Tom, here we go. I'm in an area that is seeing an increase in violent crime and brazen acts that occur in broad daylight. I've been considering getting my concealed carry permit to better protect my family in the off chance something occurs. I have the following concerns and was hoping someone here could give me insight. Sir, we are here to give you insight. That's what we do. The thing that is putting me off are as follows. Good guy with a gun, are you setting yourself up for a potentially dangerous encounter with police that roll on scene to an active shooter, then see you with a gun looking like the aggressor? Just keep gathering this in because this is a pretty easy one so far. Are you opening yourself to a lawsuit or prison time if things go wrong? I'm not a police officer. I haven't been trained to deal with these situations. If it were as black and white as I was about to get robbed or my family was about to be attacked, and I ended the threat, obviously I'd rather carry and have that force multiplier available to me. On the other hand, when you take other things into consideration, such as other innocent people around the scene, the environment that this is occurring in, what if the bad guy gets my gun and now things go even more south? What if I make a bad judgment call and try to stop the threat and escalate the situation even more, leading to my family getting caught in the crossfire? I think I'm grappling with whether or not having that force multiplier outweighs the risks of it. Sure, there are situations I think would be better to carry and better protect my family, but there are plenty of situations that I can see that a gun not being useful or even making the situation more dangerous. For context too, I'm in the States. Well, yeah, of course, because other countries don't have Second Amendment. And I've been around shot firearms my entire life, as is everyone who talks about guns. And I know how to handle them well with proper safety precautions and storing. Tom, this was longer than I expected, and it sounds to me like one great big training issue, that this person needs training to gain confidence.
Yes. I would also add education.
Yes.
Let me add education. So, dear Redditor, depending on which study you want to believe, between 92 to 98% of the time, the mere presence of producing a firearm in self-defense will lead to the bad guy breaking off the attack, typically in retreat. And by typically, I mean, again, about 92% of the time. Another study put it at 98% of the time. We're not talking about firing the firearm. Yep. Just the mere presence.
But even that, this guy needs to know what to do if the bad guy runs away. He needs to call police right away. He needs to make sure he's doing things properly so it doesn't get crossways. And all through this, I see him just not knowing. And you're right, not just training, education is key here.
Another key part for education is the knowledge of one particular study that looked at, are you better off complying or resisting an attacker? Because we have this notion, because we're good people, we have this notion that if someone's trying to rob me to get my wallet, watch, cell phone, keys, whatever, that if I just go along with it, it's going to end up all right for me.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. They're nice people. They just need your money.
That's not the way this works statistically at all. Case in point, I don't have the study in front of me right now, but I want to say it's something like if a woman resists an attacker with a firearm, she is 4.5 times less likely to be seriously injured compared to if she had simply complied.
Yep.
For men, it's about 2.5 times more likely to not be seriously injured compared to if they had complied. So yes, there are absolutely dangers of making bad judgment calls, landing yourself in prison, bad guy taking away your firearm. Those things are education and training things, particularly training when we're talking about weapon retention and so forth. But if you just look at the statistics here, the statistics are not even close. This is a one-sided fight, and we're talking like prime time Mike Tyson versus like Little Bo Peep of should you carry a firearm and should you produce that firearm and be trained with it in self-defense. The answer is an emphatic yes. You are better that way. Does that mean that you always turn out better every single time? No, of course not. Nothing's 100%. But by and large, if you want to choose, because at the end of the day, we're not choosing to not be robbed, right? Because otherwise we all opt into that program. What we're choosing is which risk category do you want to be in? And the people who fare the best are the people who, by and large, are trained and educated and are carrying firearms, prepared to meet violence if, God forbid, they have to meet violence with violence.
Yeah, and you used the exact words he used here, a bad judgment call. What if I make a bad judgment call?
Like not carrying a gun.
That is a bad judgment call. If you're carrying your gun, get the training and education you need so that you understand to make the correct judgment call. So that, I mean, we teach it all the time here at the USCCA, situational awareness and conflict avoidance. Get away if you can. You don't want to use your gun unless you absolutely have to use your gun. So when people ask questions like this, I just want to put my hand on the shoulder and say, go get some training. Go read some books. Read Concealed Carry Magazine. Watch the YouTube videos. Understand that what you're saying here are decisions that you get to make. And if you're making decisions without any information, yeah, that's a bad thing. If you get good information, then that helps you make good decisions. And clearly, I like that this person is thoughtful about it, but I want this person to be more proactive in getting his education and training so that he can get up to speed and know what he wants to do.
And not to push back or take away from what you're saying, but to add to it, yeah, like you can make a bad decision, for sure. Good guys make bad decisions all the time, right? As a criminal defense attorney, I would be out of a job if that didn't happen, okay? So yeah, that can absolutely happen. But the alternative is if you don't have any ability to even make a decision because you're just going to be a willing victim, that's not the risk category that I want to be in.
Yeah, the chances of you encountering a violent criminal are the same whether you have a gun on you, a concealed gun, or whether you don't.
I would actually say less.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because when you immerse yourself in this world and your understanding of the sharks and the wolves and what lurks beneath the surface, and you start to understand pre-threat indicators, you start to understand all these things, I think your chances of being the target of a violent encounter actually go down, not up.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. And what I was getting at was that you might be the victim of a violent crime. If you have your gun, you have a means to protect yourself. If you don't, you're counting on the mercy of a criminal who's already decided that you don't matter. I mean, I don't trust criminals, as you can probably tell.
Yes, yes. That came across. Don't worry.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted that to be clear. Tom, the very last thing here is the people who say I've been around guns my entire life.
Right.
And yes, they've been around guns their entire life, but I'm guessing that Dad or Grandpa or Uncle Bob did not teach them how to fight with guns, and did not teach them anything about the laws surrounding self-defense. Would you consider that to be accurate?
That's likely true, and you know, I'll tell you this as well. You know, you want to talk about like training scars and things that just make you go like, ah, here it comes. Whenever you hear someone start a sentence with, well, look, I'm a gun owner, but, or I've shot guns before, but, you just know that whatever's going to follow, like, buckle up, bucko. Like, we're going in for a ride, is what that is.
And then I just try hard not to chuckle or talk down to people or anything. Stop a minute and think about what you're actually saying. So, well, thanks again, Tom. Always love your insight. This was a great conversation starter. I hope people keep the conversation going. Thank you, folks, for watching all the way to the end of the video. I'll remind you again, we have that gun giveaway going on, so click the link in the description down below to see which brand new gun you could win.